Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. 3 topics for this video. The first one, does Iran have the right to enrich uranium for civilian purposes? Should their uranium enriching facilities be dismantled? Should anybody order that and demand that? And if yes, should countries who illegally, if you want to call it that way, possess nuclear weapons be inspected? Their nuclear program should be inspected and dismantled. And what's the basis for dismantling Iran's civilian nuclear enrichment, whatever, program? Is it because they're bad? Are they worse than other country? Well, that's the first topic. The second one, we have Mr. Witkoff telling the Iranians. Witkoff is a Jewish diplomat representing the United States of America in the Middle East and deals with the Iranians. I understand the whole thing. He tells that Iran's nuclear enriching capabilities should be dismantled, the whole program, because Iran is bad. While southwest of Iran is another country that its program is still functional. All right, that's the second topic. And the third one, does Trump allow Saudi Arabia to have nuclear program for civilian purposes but not Iran? And why is that? Saudi Arabia said that if Iran gets nuclear weapons, they will get nuclear weapons. And Donald Trump is going to get $1 trillion investment from Saudi Arabia. Well, I never thought. It was hard for me to agree, to accept that Saudi Arabia or Donald Trump goes to Saudi Arabia, asks them for money, investments, while they give them protection. Otherwise, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia could be, military and all that. And then try to kick the Russians and Chinese out and maybe keep the petrodollar running. So these are the topics for today. Let's start with the first one, with Iran. Here, Iran will not back down from nuclear rights. Nuclear rights? What are you talking about? Well, I found out about the nuclear rights that Iran claims. Foreign minister says, first, why can't they have a nuclear program again? If you tell me because they're bad, I can think of another country that's super bad and has nuclear weapons, right? And nobody tries to inspect it. When they will inspect, when Witkoff and the Americans will demand that Israel nuclear program and stockpile of possible nuclear weapons is inspected by the world community, then I will agree Iran to have the same fate. Until then, I think it's unfair, to say the least. I picked that euphemism. So, Iran's foreign minister said on Saturday that if the United States' goal is to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights, quote unquote, Tehran will never back down over those rights. And I was thinking, why is these guys are saying nuclear rights in quotation mark just to make it stronger? So what does that mean? And here, if the goal of the negotiations is to deprive Iran of its nuclear rights, I state clearly that Iran will not back down from any of its rights. Oh, what the hell is going on? So what happened? Trump, who withdrew Washington from 2015 deal between Tehran and world powers who would not inspect Israel, meant to curb its nuclear activity, has threatened to bomb Iran if no deal is reached to resolve the long unresolved dispute. A dispute for you, unresolved. Western countries, say Iran's nuclear program, which Tehran accelerated after the US, walk out from the now moribund 2015 accord, is geared towards producing weapons, whereas Iran insists it is purely for civilian purposes. So they say, we want to see. Well, go to Israel first and then you come to us. That's what I would say. All right, and this guy said, in its indirect talks with the United States, Iran emphasizes its right to peaceful use of nuclear energy and clearly declares that it is not seeking nuclear weapons, something that some other might have. Next one. Iran says nuclear talks difficult but useful. US encouraged. And the same thing here. Paparaka with nuclear difficult but Tupagaba. And again, these guys are saying that no, these guys have to get rid of it because they're bad. And here is the Witkoff. This is, imagine that, let's say you are a Chinese, China and Japan. They're not very, their history was not very friendly. And let's order Romanians and Hungarians. Let's order, the Poles, everybody else. And let's say the Poles and the Germans, who don't like one another. Or the Poles and the Ukrainians don't like one another. But let's say the Poles and the Ukrainians have a dispute. But again, go in a scuffle. And then the United States of America decides to mediate between the Poles and the Ukrainians. Or the Germans and the Poles, or Romanians and the Hungarians. Or, let's say the Israelis and the Iranians. And the United States of America, the mediator, sends an ethnic, or sends a, let's say, a Romanian to diffuse the Romanian-Hungarian issue. And I represent America. Do you think I will be impartial? Oh, yeah, I will be. So let's say Japan and China. And then say they have a problem. And then the guy, the envoy sent by the United States of America, big power to mediate, is Japanese. Or Chinese. Do you think the other side will not say, whoa, no. As a not nationality, as ethnicity, or race, or how we want to call it. Well, you understand? If you don't, and if you give me that that is a religion and not something else, I know for sure that people showed up on their DNA, Ancestry.com DNA thing, as Jewish, but not Catholics. Catholicism doesn't show on ethnicity, but on that kind of things. Or Orthodox or Hindu or Buddhism doesn't show. Jewish shows. I know that for a fact. I've seen it. So this guy says like this: we didn't think that the talks last week were going to be productive because we needed to get to certain understandings. So these guys say this, that you cannot have it. An enrichment program can never exist in the state of Iran ever again. So this is the Jewish special envoy to the Middle East appointed by Americans, supposedly. Enrichment, so he says that cannot ever exist. That it's our, I would like to know, who do you think the our is? Our red line. No enrichment. That means dismantlement. It means no weaponization. That's different that with the enrichment, but they put them together, right? So it says it's a red, clear. Those are their 3 enrichment facilities have to be dismantled. Witkoff said. Now, when Witkoff is going to demand the same thing from Israel, I will be saying that I'm on your side. Until then, I think you are unfair. So, and then you have, further than that, right here. This is what the right comes from. That I didn't know. I didn't make this connection. As a founding signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty, Iran has every right to possess the full nuclear fuel cycle. Moreover, there are several NPT members which enrich uranium while wholly rejecting nuclear weapons. Apart from Iran, this club includes several Asian, European, and South American nations. He said, what the hell is going on, my friends? So you can, but these guys want you out. And Witkoff, again, he says that if they don't want nuclear weapons, they have stated back that they don't want one, Witkoff said. So we're going to, for the purposes of this discussion, take them at the word that that's actually how they feel. If that's how they feel, then the enrichment facilities have to be dismantled. as that stands with Israel as well. Okay? And right here, Witkoff said any potential nuclear deal with Iran would be much tougher than the one negotiated by former President Obama. Okay, let's go first. So you got it? And I have to show you something else when they say that actually the Iranians are the worst, the biggest right here. Where is that? The bad people. As in the previous, our red line, pop, and we have at the end, right here, the end of the article, and I'm quoting, Iran is the most dangerous state in the world, decreed this imbecile, Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, and must not be allowed to obtain the world's most dangerous weapons. I think it's a genocide occurring somewhere, you know what I mean, somewhere, but hey, Iran is the most dangerous state. No. Is Iran, yeah, okay. And he says, Israel is the Middle East's only, if undeclared, nuclear-armed state. Anybody? Anybody going to know anything about it? Iran is the most dangerous, not the other guys. Let's go to Trump. I mean, the problem is this. It was over there, I'm going to show you, just to make this point a little bit clear, what they talk about the enrichment thing. Right, that's some numbers, and I think I should give you those numbers so there's no misunderstanding. Because they say, well, they are close to it, they're not close to it, right here. Western countries, including the United States, have long accused Iran of seeking to acquire nuclear weapons. All right, so the other ones have it. Go there first. While Tehran insists that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes. And why should you have it? You dropped 2 atomic bombs. You're the only criminal here in the club. And the other Europeans, why should they have? But we can't. Why? Okay, Iran currently enriches uranium to 60% purity, far above the 3.67% limit set in the 2015 deal with Washington, that Washington withdrew. So Washington withdrew from that one, so that means this is not valid anymore. You got it? But they don't mention it here. So this was accepted, agreed then. Washington withdrew, Donald Trump in his first term, remember? And this guy said, you know what, we're going to do it. Why not? It's within our right. We're not legally bound by this 3.67%. And it says, and other world powers. That's why you're a world powers. But below the 90% needed for weapons-grade material. Now you understand? And this guy says, enrichment facility have to be dismantled because you say so? Who are you? Anyway, and that gets me to the next deal between Trump and this guy, remember, Mr. BS, Mohammed bin Salman. He, about 5 years ago or something, he was, we're going to arrest him, he's a criminal, Khashoggi, crime in Istanbul or whatever it was, my God, the embassy. Now they're friends. They say, hey, okay, give us billions. We forget about what was it? CIA said it did, that have credible information. Anyway, I'm not here to discuss his, But here, prospects of Saudi ties to Israel elusive as Trump seeks $1 trillion bonanza. And this is what they say. This is why I looked at this article greatly, mainly. When US President Donald Trump lands in Riyadh on Tuesday, he will be greeted with opulent ceremonies, gilded palaces, and the prospect of $1 trillion in investments. But the raging war in Gaza, it's a raging war. It's not a nuclear power, it's a raging war, has denied Trump one goal he has long craved: Saudi-Israel normalization. So Trump craved this since infancy, when he was in the cradle. Mama, I want Israel and Saudi normalization. Really? Whose interest are you involved in? America's or those guys? But Witkoff is sent to deal with the Iranians. No. And here we want to be, come on, please, be friends with Israel. Give us $1 billion so we don't overthrow your government, your whatever you have over there, your kingdom, your monarchy. You understand? And then it's what's going on here. Let me show you. Associated Press, Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia raises the prospect of U.S. nuclear cooperation with the kingdom. But the other guys, no, Iran, you can't have it. You can. If tomorrow United States of America will be the providers of the Iran's, where am I? Oh, Iran's nuclear program, I guarantee you everything will be nice. And they will change the regime in the meantime. That's the whole purpose. So here it is. Saudi Arabia wants US help developing its own civil nuclear program. And the Trump administration said it is very excited at the prospect US-Saudi cooperation in building reactors for nuclear power plants in the kingdom could shut the Chinese and Russians out of what could be a high-dollar partnership for the American nuclear industry. You got it? All right. So what do you think? Well, it's only dealings. Don't give me anything about virtue and morality, and you don't have the right, but you have the right. You don't have a right, but we close our eyes, but you can do whatever you want in that little thing over there. You kill all those guys. No? No? I mean, if you don't know what's going on with these guys, you will say, oh my God, yeah, Iran should not have nuclear weapons. Why? Because those guys said that Iran are the dangerous country in the world. Who are those guys? Those guys are the chosen ones, the perfect ones, the better than you and I, the superior ones. According to what? To their little fucking book that they made. I mean, really? But hey, the supremacists are somewhere else, not over there. And then no, you can't have it, but you can have it, man. And by the way, I promote you, I give you Saudi Arabia if you make a deal with these guys. And Witkoff, the goes to talk to the Iranians. See the Americans? They were getting in a war with you for my people. Sounds very nice, huh? You see, I'm doing fantastic. I'm hoping that you're doing fantastic as well. But there are people in this world who are the victims of this garbage. With parents dead, children blown up, countries destroyed, cultures, traditions. So, people starving, not having clean water to drink, shitting in the ruins of whatever those guys did, their little precision strikes. Who's the criminal here? With these guys just discussing $1 trillion here, facility here, you cannot have that. Those are the best, the worst country, blah, blah, blah. Those guys, man, those guys. If you think that these guys have a problem with, 90 million people, or, nah, they don't have no problem. Why? Because they don't have to, it's one thing to not see the victims and cause the damage by pushing a button, and the other one is you actually going with a knife, not long knife, a short knife. Why? Because they have to do it many times, and with a long knife you might hit the right thing, and gurgling and spasms, and then a lot of people are very tough. You push a button, boof, over there, you got Belgrade blown up, and Chinese embassy in Belgrade. You're just a smart guy over there. But if you have to go with a knife, short blade knife, as I said, not long, pack, done. No, short, to do it, you got the gargling, hurting, moving, all that, and blood going over in, and so on. Then I guarantee you're not going to be so, yeah, we saw, and he died. Remember what Hillary Clinton said about Gaddafi in that interview? Remember, you can watch it. We went, we saw, and he's dead. Send her with a knife against Gaddafi and see what happens. Probably they're going to meet down there. I hope they don't meet over there, because I'm going to go there. I don't want to meet these guys who clap around. Anyway, I'm not going to go there, that's for sure. I want to go right there. Why? All the interesting people are going there. The other ones are not interested. I'm going to sing and I don't want. You can have them. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. I can't stand this kind of, how should I put it, inconsistency. Let's put it mildly. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.